Okay, we're back with some trigonometry questions. The question says, work out the missing side x, give your answer to one decimal place. For all these questions, they all involve right-angled triangles. So, you can use SOHCAHTOA. This is a word that lets you remember all of these different functions. In each of these, you have to analyze the triangle to decide, do you have the opposite, do you have the adjacent, and where is the hypotenuse? Once you've made that decision, then you can choose which function to use. Let's use this one as an example. So the first step is to analyze the problem. I always think, which one's the hypotenuse? I always think that first. It's the longest side. It's across from the right angle. In this case, we're not going to be using it. With respect to this angle 15, x is directly across from, so it is the opposite side, with respect to the angle you're looking at. The 7 here, this is now, by process of elimination, the adjacent side. Okay? So, x is the opposite, and 7 is the adjacent. Which one are we going to use? Okay? Opposite and adjacent. Opposite hypotenuse. Adjacent hypotenuse. Opposite adjacent. It's the tan that we're going to use. We're going to use the tan, the opposite over adjacent. So you write down your function. Tan of x equals opposite over adjacent. You make the substitution. The degrees, they always go into the function. So it's the tan of 15 degrees equals the opposite, which is x, over the adjacent, which is 7. Okay? Now you rearrange. For this one, you just rearrange, you multiply by 7 on both sides. So your result is 7 times tan of 15. Type that directly into your calculator, 7 tan 15, and you'll get 1.8756. The question asks you to round to one decimal place. If we round this to one decimal place, it's going to round up to 1.9. Okay? Now, for these ones, some of them have missing sides in the numerator, but what if the missing side is in the denominator? Okay. See how we deal with one of these. So, what if the unknown side is in the denominator? Well, this one, we look at 37 degrees. Again, I always look for the hypotenuse first. There it is. It's across from the 90-degree angle. So this one is the hypotenuse. Then I decide, with respect to my angle, what is the 4.8? It is across from, or the opposite side. It's on the opposite side of my reference angle. So we have 4.8 as the opposite. X is the hypotenuse. Which one do we use? This is the sine equals the opposite over the hypotenuse. So this is the one we use, opposite and hypotenuse. We use the sine. So you write down your equation, substitute your values. X is 37 degrees. This will always be a number of degrees in our case. 4.8 is the opposite divided by the hypotenuse, which is x. Now our denominator is the unknown. So there's two steps to rearrange. First, multiply through by x. That will cancel the x on this side. So you have x times sine 37 equals 4.8. And lastly, this is a number, so you can divide by that number, divide by sine 37, and this is the result. So if the unknown side's in the denominator, we divide by the sine function. 4.8 divided by sine 37 equals 7.975. Round to one decimal place, and you get 8.0. This demonstrates that you are rounding to one decimal place. That's why we include the 0. Okay? If you'd like to pause the video and try some of these on your own, go ahead. And here are all the answers.